I might as well enjoy it. I'm just gonna blow up everybody here. Oh, What's up, Squid Gang? Naxi is here. I apologize for the shoddy green screen work. I just kind of threw this up because I wanted to talk about the Burning Crusade monetization. I had to do that while the baby was asleep, so had to do things really quickly. Most of you know that I'm a big World of Warcraft fan. I have been playing the game for many, many years, and Burning Crusade was actually the expansion I started playing in like 15 odd years ago. So needless to say that I was excited to hear that they are in fact releasing a Burning Crusade Classic Edition. I felt that Blizzard did a pretty good job with Vanilla Classic. I know there are problems here and there, and the game is 15 years old and it shows its age, but I feel they did a very, very good job with the game itself, the lack of monetization that went around it, hyping it up within the community. I thought everything was great. So I was kind of, ignorantly I guess, expecting the same deal out of Burning Crusade Classic. So one thing that they did do correctly is that Burning Crusade will in fact be free, just like Vanilla Classic was. Free in the sense you do need a subscription, obviously, but you didn't have to pay extra like it was a brand new expansion or anything like that, which makes sense considering a lot of the Burning Crusade content is still in the game, and that was included in just a subscription these days, so it'd be kind of silly to charge us for this. However, clearly, Big Daddy Activision and Big Daddy Blizzard need their sweet, sweet dollar, and they are going to suck you dry if that's what it takes to get it. So there are three types of monetization that they have for this game right now. The first is a character boost, to take a character and boost it to level 58 so that it's ready for Burning Crusade as soon as it goes live. And I'm assuming it's something that you can purchase once the game goes live, just like the level boosts in the retail game now. The second is a deluxe edition, which is really akin to a lot of the deluxe editions they do for expansions. You get the expansion itself, but then you also get like a mount, some pets, some toys, some other memorabilia, sometimes even items for other Blizzard games. And that usually runs the cost of around $70, $80, whereas the base expansion usually costs like $35, $40, something like that. And then the third monetization they are using for this is the character cloning. So the whole deal is when Burning Crusade comes out, all the servers that currently exist in Classic will become Burning Crusade servers. But I'm sure there are people who want to stay on Classic, which is part of the reason why Vanilla Classic exists in the first place. But anyone who's put a lot of work into their character would probably like it both to be on Classic and also on Burning Crusade, so they can switch back and forth as need be. Blizzard knows this, and they are offering a service to clone your characters, so that the character will go on to BC, but also have a version on the new Classic servers they're creating. And, however, they're charging you money for this, and it's a steep price. So I'm going to go over the monetization that they have in place for this expansion, and we're going to talk about each one, I think in the order of egregiousness that each one has. So if you come over here to Wowhead, where they talk about it, this is the first one, that the character boost is going to cost $40. And this is American, so in Canadian that's approximately like $940. I don't know what the conversion rate is right now. But basically, in order to level a character to 58 from level 1 or whatever level, is going to run you $40. Okay, 40. Boosts on the normal retail or something like 15, 20, I can't remember, but they're definitely not 40. And again, I can't stress this enough, $40 is what it costs for the base Shadowlands. So you can get a full game, a full expansion, none of the bells and whistles, no mounts or anything, but a full expansion for the same fucking price as this character boost. Okay? So the only thing that I can see being their reasoning as to why they're charging so much for this is because, unlike the usual boost, they're only letting you do one. So as you can see here, it says limit 1 per World of Warcraft account and not usable on Blood Elf or Draenei characters. Blood Elf and Draenei being the new races in TPC that didn't exist in Vanilla. So you can't immediately boost one to level 58, which a lot of people probably would want to do because Draenei gives the Alliance access to a class they didn't. have before, and Blood Elves do the same for the Horde. So boosting would probably be popular, but they're not going to let you do it for that, which I think makes a lot of sense. And they're only going to let you do one per account, because again, leveling boosts did not exist back then. So their logic here is that this is only to get you started so that you can jump into the expansion with your friends if you want to. So I'm guessing the logic of Big Daddy Blizzard here is that they're only allowing you to have one. So unlike in retail where they can make like freaking hundreds of dollars off a single Warcraft account, depending on how lazy you are when it comes to leveling, they can only do one per account in this particular case. So I guess this is their way of saying, well, I'm going to charge you $40 because you can only do it once, and I need to try and make as much money off of this as possible. So you know what? $40 to get through this. So you know what? $40 if you want the one that we're allowing you to have. Now, I've never been a fan of character boosting in general. I've never actually used one. Even the free ones they gave me, I've never actually used them. So it kind of irks me that this exists in the first place, but I can, deal with it. I am a big boy. But this price, to me, is just absolutely outrageous. $40, again, the base Shadowlands costs $40. Okay? So in their mind, I'm guessing, they're charging you for instant access to the game. So they're like, well, we're not selling you the actual game, but we're selling you quick access to it in case you don't have a character ready. That's almost predatory towards people who haven't played vanilla. I think this is egregious, but to me, the least egregious because there are a lot of limitations on it already. So even if the price was something a little bit more reasonable, like the 10, 15, or 20, or whatever it is in retail, they are putting these limits on themselves, especially this one where it's not usable on Blood Elf or Draenei characters, which is what a lot of people would have used it on if they had bought it. So by limiting themselves here, I reluctantly will let this pass that they are charging this much for it, but very, very reluctantly. However, we'll come over here next, which is the Burning Crusade Classic Deluxe Edition will cost $70. Okay? $70. And again, this is what kills me about this one. The Shadowlands had 3 tiers when they sold it. There was the base Shadowlands, which was just the game. Then they had I guess it was like the deluxe edition where they sold you a mount, some other knickknacks and stuff like that. And then there was like the super duper awesome deluxe edition, which was all the things from the deluxe, but also like another pet and like free game time and probably some like physical object that you could hold. But the point is that middle tier, that deluxe, was $80. $10 more than this. Okay? And here's the thing that kills me about this. $10 more, and I got a full expansion with the deluxe edition of Shadowlands, okay? A full expansion plus knickknacks on top. They're selling this for more than the base game of Shadowlands. Almost doubling the price, actually. Very, very close to doubling the price. And here's what you get out of it. You get a mount. Now, I'm not going to lie, that's not a bad looking mount. There's 2 versions. One's for retail, and then there's one for the actual Burning Crusade. You'll notice that it's a little lower polyed, but that's because Burning Crusade is lower polyed. But it's a mount. I mean, it's not a bad looking mount, so it's an okay mount. You also get a Dark Portal Hearthstone for use in Burning Crusade Classic, which provides a visual effect. So there's toys in retail where it gives your Hearthstone when you're casting the spell an animation. Like if you use the Headless Horseman one, you get like a pumpkin on your head and you laugh like the Headless Horseman. So I'm guessing this is what this is. It's just a Hearthstone animation that you can have when you use your Hearthstone. I've seen footage of this, the Path of Illidan toy. So basically what it is when you use the toy and your character runs forward, your character actually leaves a trail of green fire behind them. It says a short time. I actually don't know how long this is, and I'm not sure if it's been data mined yet, and I don't really care. But knowing some of the cooldowns on a lot of these toys that are in retail, this is like you'll have a blaze of fire behind you for like 30 seconds with a cooldown of like 2.5 hours. Like, I don't know if it's worth it. You do get a pass, which boosts one character to level 58. Okay, so they are giving you the pass. Okay, so that's included in the price. So essentially, since this is $40, all right, they're saying that this is $40 and everything else is worth $30. Okay, and then 30 days of Warcraft game time, which providing you access to the entire game, like retail, Burning Crusade Classic, whatever. And it's just 30 days of game time. So again, this is what you get out of it. Notice how it doesn't say anything about getting a game here. There's no game. None. You don't get Shadowlands, and you don't get Burning Crusade because, and I can't stress this enough, Burning Crusade is free. Free. Okay? You have a subscription, Burning Crusade is free. But they're charging me $70 basically to get 30 days of game time, one of these character boosts, which I wouldn't use anyway, 2 toys and a mount. So 2 toys, a mount, game time, and this thing that they've arbitrarily valued at $40 is what's in this. There's no game. But they're saying that this here is pretty much equivalent to a full expansion. Because here's the thing. While Shadowlands Deluxe was $80, a lot of the previous expansions, like Miss of Pandaria, Warlords, Legion, all of them, their deluxe edition was actually $70. Like, I think like Wrath of the Lich Kings was $70. So they're equating this bundle to previous bundles that have given me a full game as well as knickknacks on top. This doesn't sell me a game. All right? There's no game here. And yet they're charging me $70 goddamn dollars for it. Okay, so if we do a little bit of math here, they'll say this is $40, so everything else is worth $30. So let's say this is $15, and they're saying, so basically they're selling me $15 worth of cosmetics, but just giving me a $40 thing and a $15 thing. So again, I can't stress this enough either. The character boost is worth almost 90 days of game time. 90. Jesus Christ. Now, I think this is an absolute ripoff, but the thing I will say about this that will make me not necessarily hate Blizzard completely is the fact that this is all optional. Okay, there's not a single thing here that you need. It's not selling you any sort of advantage over other players. One could argue maybe the character boost is an advantage over other players, but if you level any character on your own, it's probably in just as good a state as this is. This is just selling you back your time, I guess. But all of this is optional. With other deluxe editions, like, you've got a game, so getting some sort of edition was necessary. I had to buy Shadowlands, so I had to at least spend $40. I might as well spend an extra $30 and get some cool shit on top of it, I guess. But all of this is optional. Right? So this is them being greedy bastards, because this monetization here is ridiculous. I'd say at most this should cost $40. If there's no game in here, this should at most cost $40. But then I guess they wouldn't have put this in here. Because if this is in here and the whole thing was $40, basically you'd get buying a character pass and a bunch of free shit. So because they arbitrarily made the Dark Portal Pass $40, now they have to raise the price of this to make it worth it. They could have just taken this out, honestly. Sold it separately at this point. Because I don't know how much people would use that, but a lot of people are mount collectors and toy collectors, so they would love an excuse to get more. But I will say, I find this a little bit more egregious than the boost itself. Okay, a little bit more egregious. But I'll give them a pass because this is completely optional, so this is really just for people who have a lot of money to burn and want to spend it on cosmetics. They have been selling mounts and everything on their store forever. I hate it, but this is technically not new. I think the only reason why it hurts me so bad is because this number is so crazy. There's no need for this to be $70. However, let's move on to the one that kills me the most. So we come over here. Classic era character clone services will cost $35 per character. I want you to let this sink in for a second. $35 per character. So again, to reiterate, basically, if your character would pretty much automatically go to Burning Crusade. That's how it worked back in the day. When a new expansion came out, your character would automatically move into the next expansion. Provided you bought it, of course. But because Vanilla Classic exists because people specifically wanted to play Classic, or they would say something like this: I want to play BC, but I also want to leave a copy in Vanilla so that I can do both. I can have my character that's all geared up and able to do stuff in Classic, but it can also move on to BC. However, that's a problem that Blizzard themselves technically created. Blizzard's created a problem where now they want to split up the characters and give you the choice to do so, but then selling you the solution to it, and that's what kills me. This doesn't necessarily need to be a problem. They could easily just say, hey, we got some servers, we'll toss your character onto Classic, and we'll create a clone for you. Okay? How does that cost money? I bet that doesn't cost them any money whatsoever to do so. And even if you say that it costs them, data storage, that much in data storage? Is a character worth $35? One character takes up that much space of memory that it costs them $35 goddamn dollars? You're kidding me, right? So essentially, again, they've created a problem, they've sold you a solution to a problem they created, and they're charging you $35 for it. Per character. So if you have two characters that you were hoping to clone, $70. More than the deluxe edition that they just created, or the exact same as the deluxe edition they have created. Two characters will net you the same price, and you get none of the other stuff. So if you actually scroll down, you can see, excuse me, commence the shitstorm. Yeah, I agree. Disgusting, gritty ass lizards. Okay. You got hit with a new level of monetization. Now, there is a person here who says it's a business, and I agree it's a business. They're going to want to make money. But there's a difference between trying to make money and trying to make all the money. You don't need to be making all the money. But that's why this one hurts me the most. This one strikes me as nothing but pure greed. This is like someone digging a ditch in the middle of the road and then demanding money to fill in the hole. This is a direct result of their actions. They wanted to split it up. They want to keep going with Burning Crusade. But again, it wouldn't even cost them anything to copy a character over. If they were going to charge me money for it, why is it so much more expensive than a character transfer? Character transfers are something like $15. So how is this more than twice of a character transfer? It doesn't make any sense. So not only did they create a problem, demand that you pay them to fix it, they've overpriced the living shit out of it. And this here is why I think this is worse than this and worse than this. This to me is the most egregious. And it pains me that people who put a lot of effort into their classic character are now forced, because this essentially forces people to really think about whether or not they want to copy a character over. I could get a full game on Steam for this. Hell, if it's a sale going on, I could get 3 games on Steam for this. And they're going to charge me $35 just to have a certain character go over. Because again, the game is free. I can still play the game without doing this. Right? I could level a brand new character or suck it up that I don't have my character on Classic. Right? I could do either of these things. So yes, I don't have to spend this. But this forces people to make a hard decision about what they want to do with their Classic character. Because it's either I take it with me or I leave it behind. I can't see that many people, other than, say, streamers or people who have like a ton of disposable income. I can't see a lot of people who are paying $15 a month also paying this. especially if they don't know how much they'll be playing one of those characters. Because when Burning Crusade comes out, even if I did this, I don't know how much I would play that classic character. So the fact that they're charging me $35 for it, I'm not making a clone. There's no incentive for me to make this clone. I would rather level up a brand new character on Classic if I wanted to do that. Not that I think there'll be too many people playing Vanilla Classic after Burning Crusade comes out anyway. The server I was on is dead, and it was pretty full at the beginning of Classic. And I think that's what hurts me so much about all this. Blizzard, especially when Burning Crusade was out, was a company that could basically do no wrong. I've loved World of Warcraft. I loved Burning Crusade. I'm still excited to play this. And that's what kills me, is I want to play this game. I can't wait to hop back into the expansion that I started playing and experiencing it as it was back then. And having a lot more knowledge than I did back then, so I'll be able to do a much better job at playing it. But now all my excitement is kind of marred by this, because I don't want to give them any of this money. This is egregious that they're asking me for this. For any service that they provide. It's crazy that they're asking me for that kind of money. And I don't want to give any of it to them. And my brother, who was actually playing Classic with us, recently quit over this before he even knew the price. So if he was kind of hanging on, he would have quit for this. And I kind of felt like quitting just because of the kind of monetization that they're doing here. On top of all the monetization they already do on retail. And the way that retail is. There's not a lot that's making me keep holding on to this game. And Burning Crusade Classic is kind of the only thing that I'm holding out for. And they had to make me feel shitty about it. Because now, by playing Burning Crusade, I feel like even though I'm not giving them this money, I'm still somehow saying this behavior's okay. And it really isn't. So even though I'm going to be playing the game, I am not going to feel that great about doing it. I think Asmongold really hit the nail on the head when he was talking about this. Because with Vanilla Classic, they did an absolutely fantastic job of hyping it up, of not monetizing it, not putting any changes in there except for a few minor ones. They did everything right. So why are they doing this complete 180? They're already putting in some changes, and some of which I hear people are not very happy about. They're dumping all this monetization on top of it instead of giving it just to us for free. And this makes me terrified of what happens. Is this going to happen when they do a Wrath of the Lich King Classic? Is there going to be another deluxe edition that's going to cost me like $90? Is there going to be another character cloning? What do I do for those character clones? Is it going to be another $35 per character? I just don't understand how a company who can do something so correctly the first time can just go ahead and just shit all over that the second time. Right? On top of that, the pre-patch is only 2 weeks before the expansion comes out. Now, to me, that's not a huge deal, but there's people that wanted to level up Blood Elf and Draenei characters before the expansion started, and now they basically got to speed run that in order to get that done. They basically had to speed run that in order to get that done before the expansion comes out. So they're not really doing a lot of things correct with the release of this expansion. Now, I'm sure COVID has some effect on that, as it's had an effect on everything, but it's basically the same thing we've seen with their remakes. How could they do so perfect with StarCraft Remastered and then turn around and do Reforged so terribly? The amount of aggressive monetization that they're doing in all their games, whether it was StarCraft 2, World of Warcraft, Hearthstone, Heroes of the Storm, it's just gotten completely out of hand. This is not the Blizzard that I grew up playing games from. And it just makes me feel like absolute crap that all the companies that I grew up loving have fallen so far. BioWare's not what it once was. Blizzard's not what it once was. Valve has been dragging its heels on Half-Life 3 forever. CD Projekt Red goes ahead and releases a broken-ass game instead of the quality we've come to expect from them from all the other Witcher games. I don't know. I just feel like this monetization was way too aggressive, and I do not appreciate it whatsoever. And it drives me nuts that they are doing this and thinking it's okay, that these prices are reasonable. It drives me nuts. And I know there's some apologists out there that say that, hey, they're a business, they're going to try and suck all the money out of you, but they don't need to suck all the money out of you. We're already giving them money. I pay the money to play every month. They're getting money from me already. I would gladly support a company that I loved in any way, shape, or form if they give me like a reasonable price on everything. But $35 a character is not reasonable. $70 for something that doesn't even give me a game is not reasonable. $40 for a level 58 boost, are you kidding me? Regular boost used to get you all the way to like 110 and that only costs $15. I don't know. I think all this is just over the top. The monetization is just not cool, and the attitude Blizzard has had about monetization has just gone off the deep end in recent years. At least this is all optional money, in a sense, because you don't need any of this to play the expansion. The expansion itself, and I can't stress enough, is free. So that's why it pisses me off that there's all this monetization on top of it. They're like, we can't handle this free stuff. Even though they know they're probably going to get more subs once Burning Crusade comes in, because there was a whole bunch of subs for Classic. I'm sure there's going to be a whole bunch of new subs for Burning Crusade. You guys were going to get $15 a month for at least a few months. That's all you needed. There was no need for any of this. But what do you guys think? Leave a comment. Leave a like. It really helps the channel out if you do. Subscribe if you enjoyed this video. I appreciate anybody taking the time to watch my videos, and if you want, in the description there will be a link to my Twitch channel. I do stream on YouTube and Twitch at the same time, so follow me on both. It really helps out. And with that, I will see you guys in the next video. See ya.